Alright, so you heard the negative side talk about how adult stem cells are sufficient candidates for replacing embryonic stem cells. However, adult stem cells are more dangerous than embryonic stem cells. According to Stephen Edwards from Wire Technology, he states that adult stem cells kill. They're mass murderers. In fact, in only 5 years between 2000 and 2004, adult stem cells used in some 25,000 bone marrow transplant treatments have been complicit in at least 3,629 American deaths, 624 of which involved children under the age of 18. And according to the National Center for Health Statistics, if the trend continues, adult stem cells will claim their 5,000th victims since 2000 this year. The Democratic Policy Committee states that adult stem cells are no substitute for research on embryonic stem cells. Some people believe only adult stem cells research should be funded because they would not involve the destruction of an embryo. But all the stem cells are not alike. While adult stem cells have been used successfully to treat some diseases, the prevailing views of scientists is that the potential is much more limited than embryonic stem cells. Only embryonic stem cells have demonstrated an ability to develop into almost every type of cell and tissue. The federal government should fund both embryonic and adult stem cell research and not gamble that one approach will be more successful than the other. And the reason why there's so many successes from adult stem cell research is because of the fact that there's been more funding for the science. The Democratic Policy Committee also states that while opponents of embryonic stem cell research argue that only adult stem cell research has generated therapies, adult stem cells research has had a long head start. Researchers have been studying adult stem cells for about 35 years, while human embryonic stem cells were only isolated in 1998. Moreover, funding for National Institute of Health has been more than 7 times higher for human adult stem cell research. $964.5 million than for human embryonic stem cell research, which only has $132.6 million. They claim that the federal restrictions do not harm research with stem cells. However, state and private sectors are not sufficient enough to support successful researches of the science. We use our taxpayer money for scientists because the scientists have to publicly show the results and not hide it from the public itself. A speaker from the private versus federal funding for stem cell research papers stated that as a result of the lack of federal research dollars, we see the following. Labs are being shut down for lack of funds. Many bright American scientists are leaving the U.S. and moving to countries where they can accomplish their work without so many restrictions. Other countries such as Australia, the UK, Israel, etc. are getting ahead of us in the stem cell field. The delay in research due to lack of adequate funding leaves many people waiting all that much longer before potential treatments can be made available. How much longer do we have to keep them waiting? And that's what we stand for. Thank you.
Applause. There you go.